Your foundation is solid, collective. Here's your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Toughdolltarot. Welcome to my channel. I am doing a reading for the collective, as I'm sure you know. That's why you clicked on it right now. So let me know what your thoughts are about the collective readings. I realize it might not be for everybody, and that's okay as well. But my intention is to really encourage you and to provide a voice of like a cheerleader, if nothing else, because who doesn't need a little bit of cheering throughout their day? So let's see what we have. Messages for the collective. I'm going to go ahead and do the shuffle in 3, 2, 1. All right. Welcome, you guys. Collective, you have Mars with drive and power. You have first house with self-identity. You have feelings and subconscious. And if you hear anything in the background, you also have Coco eating his meal and being a little bit protective. So collective, what else do we have? Strength. Yeah, I feel like with this drive and this power with the Mars, this might indeed talk about you having strength to overcome your adversaries, strength to overcome obstacles and challenges, and even sometimes simple endurance is also strength as well. So collective, I feel like currently it's almost like you're at the home stretch, and I do feel a slight sense of fatigue and whatever it is that you're doing. I also feel like maybe perhaps you're starting to see things that you haven't seen in the past, like maybe you're starting to see physical other beings or sensing other light beings and entities and things like that. And if it's not that, then I definitely feel like maybe some of you guys could be seeing people's auras, or you could be very much more sensitive than you ever have been to other people's energies. So any of those could be true to you. Now, with the Strength card, this also always spells out abundance to me. But the Strength card always talks to me about conquering thyself first. And so collective, I feel like this is really talking about with your drive and power, there's also a need for you to really be fully in control of that not allowing your drive and power to lead you. You don't want the leash to walk the dog, right? You definitely want the dog to walk the leash. But I think you get my point. So collective, it's going to be really important to look at your drive and your power and making sure that you're, yes, making moves forward, but that you're not, putting the cart before the horse kind of an energy. And so some of us are really identifying with the first house on what it is that we're doing. So a lot of us identify with, well, I'm a daughter, well, I'm a husband, well, I'm a wife, or I'm a mother, I'm a teacher, I'm a student. And all of those things are really fragments of who we are, but it's not really whom we are. We're much more than that. And so I feel like in your drive, in order to make things happen for yourself, I feel like part of the drive could be about your self-identity, and you're trying to maybe forge a path to make things a little bit different for yourself, that you're trying to be your most authentic self on the outside as you are on the inside. Now, collective, I definitely feel like there have been challenges and tribulations in order to really be your most authentic self in the public arena, meaning just your true self all the time, right? And I definitely feel like there has been a mastery or a level of mastery achieved right here. And this connects deeply to your heart chakra. So maybe you're also having like heart activation. Maybe you're learning how to deal with snakes, for lack of a better way of putting it. But maybe you're also learning how to control the things you can control, which would only be you right now, right? And I just saw the number 333, so that could be important for somebody out there. So collective, let's see what else we have. We have the 10 of Cups. Yay, look at that. it always gives me like, I don't know, it's like there's a party out in the wilderness and I want to attend. I want to go. I want to hang out with the owl. And I feel like everybody, different species, different animals, hanging out, even these two giving each other high fives. So I feel like 10 of Cups is all about celebration, celebratory, that feeling, that good feeling. And maybe you're working on your self-image and identity, and you're working your way through the world with this idea and this mindset, and you're incredibly driven. That there's a lot of power behind that as well, but you're being also cautioned to make sure that in this advancement that you're not like pushing through blindly, that you are also like conquering your desire and your need to be maybe even looked at, because this could have to do with like our reputations and things like that, that you are looking at yourself, you know, with an eye that, okay, I can accomplish these things, but I'm not doing everything just for performative reasons, that this is really a soul calling and a soul's journey, and that's what I'm, my most authentic self. So it's going to be important that we differentiate between, you know, what is publicly accepted and what is accepted for our own soul and within ourselves. Yeah, feelings in the subconscious. There could be a lot of like oscillations between your public image and the subtle feelings, like the behind the scenes, or what we really need to explore within us. And some of you guys haven't done any shadow work at all, and some of you guys have, and kudos to you, wherever it is that you're at in your timeline, whatever chapter that you're at in your life right now. It's never too late to really take a sober look at ourselves and really define what is driving us. You know, if we're going after this and chasing that goalpost and it keeps moving, well, what is it that's driving me? Because if I'm running on a currency that is of this world, you're going to deplete yourself. And ultimately, I feel like it's going to be unsatisfactory. So it's going to be really important that you know that you're aligning yourself with your most authentic self. And that's how you're moving forward in life. Your feelings and subconsciousness, with the moon energy, you could definitely be getting those emotions and those tips, and maybe you're feeling a little bit of a restlessness. And so if this is true for you, maybe just doing a little bit of a journaling thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. I could hear you guys rolling your eyes and groaning right now, but maybe even just, you know, 10 of Cups. Okay, what is my emotional fulfillment? What does that look like? I'm on this trajectory, and I'm starting to be a chef, and you know, and I just want to be the finest chef in the valley, and I want to be in magazines, and I want to be, and all of those things are not bad within themselves, but making sure that we're not hanging up our laurels, hanging up our hats, hanging up our self-esteem on how other people perceive us is going to be really, really important. And sometimes that's a trap for all of us, regardless of what age we are. But I kid you not, with the 10 of Cups being in the front and center, this is attainable. And I feel like, again, mastering yourself and your desires is going to come to the forefront, okay? Self-mastery is going to give you even more self-esteem than you probably ever would have thought. Then your Knight of Pentacles right here. So I feel like this could have been a slow process for a lot of us. I consider myself a late bloomer, by the way. A lot of us, we've had to really reconcile self and the most unusual and perhaps unconventional ways. And maybe some of us have, you know, graduated from the whole school of hard knocks, and we've had to learn that trying to people please everyone else around us doesn't really glean us what we want ultimately, because that approval is fading, it's flickering, it could be used for manipulation as well. So maybe perhaps this is stating that if you stay the course, you're going to start seeing other people bringing forward, I think, tangibles, okay? So things that are like, okay, this is solid, this is like a good thing, and this is real. But you're not in a rush for everybody's applause. This is just stating that you're finding good standing and good investments and taking your time and casting maybe even a weary eye. Is that a good move for me? Just because you get an offer to be in 10 magazines, is that a right choice for me? Well, 10 magazines in like 5 days, is that reasonable? Am I going to be burnt out? Are they magazines I want to be affiliated with? What is the market? You know, who are the authors? Who's going to be interviewing you? Who are the photographers? Do they put people in their best light? Is it a shady publication, or do they have, you know, ethics and morals? I don't know. I'm just getting that for you guys. So regardless of what trajectory you're headed, you're being cautioned to really follow your own personal alignment and to really listen to the subconscious and your feelings about things, because now's the time to really navigate through this. And if you're feeling good about a certain way, even asking simple questions, why does this feel good? Because, you know, honestly, Collective, we all know that flattery feels good sometimes, but a lot of times, most of the time, it has something attached to it, right? So we got to be wary and we've got to be wise with what we do. So more for the collective, please. Coco wants to play now. We've eaten and now it's time to play. What about the collective here? The Four of Wands. Yeah, maybe perhaps somebody's having a birthday, a fiesta, a siesta. And this just really talks about setting up the four corners of your world in such a manner that it can't be rocked. Or, you know, nothing is infallible. Nothing is going to be like perfect. But setting up a good foundation, you know that if you're building on a firm foundation, it's going to be there to last to the best of your abilities. You know, we can't predict, you know, nature and what Mother Nature decides to do. That's a whole different ball game. But with the Four of Wands, I definitely see celebration in your future. I definitely see good times. I feel like people are enjoying themselves. And with all this pink right here, I feel like it's emotional gratification. I also see this, I forget what this is called, but I feel like, you know, this vine is growing and a lot of beauty is pouring forward. Then we have this little doll right here looking through the Four of Wands. So, excuse me. I definitely feel like you have the public attention, the public arena, but most of all, I feel like you are looking to build on something firm and solid. Firm and solid seems to be like firm and solid, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Emotional contentment, beauty. Yeah. Zoom in. King of Wands right here. So this is a most unusual King of Wands. So this person appears that maybe they can't see, and maybe they are, I don't know, they're running a marathon of some sorts, and he's got his dog right here and his pole to make sure he doesn't trip over anything. But this is like, you know, people cheering you on in spite of times when you necessarily didn't have all the answers, when things weren't clear, they weren't crystal clear, but you were motivated, you were driven, and you kept on pushing ahead. And so I definitely feel like people want to run this last leg of the race with you, if you will, metaphorically. So this could be achieving whatever acclaim. You know, sometimes when people get married and things like that, all the kids want to be around the bride, that kind of a thing. But people want to celebrate with you. This is public celebration, public acknowledgement, and abundance in general. The Page of Blades, yeah. So I'm going to say that even whatever actions that you take today is going to be, I want to say the source of scrutiny later, not in a bad way, but I feel like you're going to be somebody that people will talk about a long time from now. And what I mean by that is that people will be like, wow, did you hear how the collective, you know, they struggled through these things and they were kind of handicapped, and maybe you are. No shame in that game, and we're not here to judge at all. Definitely all are welcome. But I'm going to say that you're going to be a source of inspiration and a source of, like, people are studying you. Like, how did this person decide that they were going to be able to do that? It seems like it's an impossible feat, but they put their mind to it. These are the steps that they took, and they want to learn from you, okay? So there could be even, like, I don't want to sound dramatic, but like a documentary, a docu-series, or you can be on a podcast really describing as to the steps that you took to really achieve the acclaim that you are going to be having in the very short near future, and so on and so forth. So we have this little guy all cuddled up, and this child making all sorts of discoveries and comparing it to their insect encyclopedia, I think that's what it is. And I forget what these are called, daffodils, I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of talk, a lot of chatter, a lot of like, wow, did you see how they did that? And how is it? Because, you know, the collective was in front of us the whole time. We didn't even see that coming. We didn't even know that they entered the race, or we didn't even know that they're wrestling with this issue or that issue, or that they had to overcome these handicaps. I feel, collective, that a lot of what is going to be spoken of highly in your favor, by the way, is the way that you have overcome so many difficulties, so many blocks and obstructions, and so many setbacks as well. I think that this is beautiful. I also feel a lot of peace entering your life in the very near future as well. And I feel like a strength in you being able to, these, I just flung out, so I'm going to grab them, that you've been able to really weed out what is dangerous in your life, or what is toxic energy, or whom is toxic energy, and that you're making changes accordingly. So I feel like your glow up, your show up, and your successes are not anything but a series of hard work, diligence, and a careful eye on who you surround yourself with. Just making sure that, you know, I mean, if your friends are always partying and stuff, you're going to be, guess what, probably partying with them. Nothing wrong with that. But if they're doing it, you know, 3 days a week, then your life is going to be really focused on those things. So I feel like you are going to be more mindful with who you spend your time with and what you are doing. And also, yeah, the dangers, the pitfalls, our personal pitfalls, because frankly, like, we all have different weaknesses. So my weakness is not necessarily going to be anyone else's, and so on. Yeah, to see. So I feel like maybe even what people are going to be inspecting is maybe perhaps how you were able to sidestep deceit, how you're able to spot the people that didn't have your best interest at heart, that weren't nefarious, for a lack of a better way of putting it. 5, 6, 7. So it's up to 7. And I would say that this is deceitful about money, about your foundation, or it could be even like your root chakra. This is talking about stability, how you earn your income, maybe how you grew up, your foundation, what you were taught as you were growing up, and things like that. Were you supported, or were you controlled, manipulated? Were you like dodgy, or were you expecting, were you taught that, you know, everybody needs to be a princess and they get rescued by the prince, or whatever the thing is. But whatever deceit that's in your story, your personal narrative, that you were able to really navigate that safely and concisely. And some of you guys are like, you know, like religious. I don't know. It's neither here nor there to me. Goddess of the moon. Yeah. So you followed your intuition in order to navigate this safely. So something about your compass, the number 1555 on camera right now, it could be a moral compass, but you've had a lot of changes, a lot of oscillations. And I'm here to tell you that your intuition is spot on. Do not doubt it. If you get a funny feeling, if somebody is moving or looking at you weird, then trust your gut intuition and always go with that, because you're making the right moves and you're actually on the right trajectory. I really don't see anything that would be negative. So I'm just going to leave that right there. I feel like you've already navigated this, and you're very quick and easy to spot. That, you know, this one is not like the others. Like, whatever doesn't belong, I feel like you're going to block it, uproot it, or not allow it in your personal space. So have trust in yourself, because Spirit trusts you. You're dearly loved. And until next time, namaste.